Hello again. It's been a very long time since I've made one of these videos. Um, so today, I quit my job a little earlier than expected. Um, I couldn't do it anymore, and my last day was supposed to be 2 days from today. I just couldn't do it anymore. I had no heart in the job. I had no satisfaction, nothing. And it was making it harder to overcome anxiety and depression that I deal with on a daily basis. You know, the constant problems that I have to wind up going through. And trying to find self-worth and things like that. So I walked in and I gave them the keys and everything, and they told me that I was going to be marked as not rehirable because I was quitting abruptly, even though I was only a few days away from the actual termination time. Kind of upsets me that they would do that, but at the same time, I get it. So I don't know, it's weird. So, what I want to talk about is the risk taking that I'm doing, the pursuit for my own happiness, and trying to figure out like how to overcome a lot of my anxiety to pursue a dream. Um, and this becomes like the crux of a lot of people's decisions and how we process things and how we go through our normal ways of thinking about this. So for me, what it started becoming, so let's kind of go back. So when I started doing the series of content creation with anxiety and depression, it was focused on me trying to find value in myself, continuing to do content creation while getting a job because I needed the job to support my family and things like that. Now, I was so focused on this job, I was so focused on trying to make it work that my content was suffering and my mental health was suffering. I was trying to maintain two jobs at one time, essentially, two full-time jobs at one time. And it's really hard to do, especially when one of your jobs you will get zero help, or very little help. I mean, towards the end there, I was getting I was organizing things because I knew I was coming to an end with my job because I had already put the 2 weeks in. I was done. And that's when I realized I can't do this on my own, and I hired somebody to help me out. But while I was trying to be a content creator, this dream I developed, I didn't have it initially. I originally started as doing it as a hobby, doing it as something I enjoyed, something that helped me conquer my own demons, and then it turned into something more for me. It became something I became passionate about, something I could see myself doing long term. And so I started getting more depressed because the thing that I started having a huge passion for was not what was consuming most of my time and energy. My job was what was consuming most of my time and energy. Um, and so I've reviewed some of my videos while I was maintaining a full-time job, and I'm going to tell you right now, my content was suffering because I was suffering. I was not 100% focused. I was not 100% engaged with everything I was trying to do because I was already exhausted. I was already tired. I was already done. Um, so what happened and what the wake up call for me was my wife. She just, how do I put one, you have to understand with my wife and I, our marriage, in 10 years, we have never really fought. We've had our disagreements and we've had, the things that we don't, we could technically fight about, but we don't. We talk it out, we come to understandings, we work together. We've never ever raised our voices at each other. We've never fought with each other. It's just that's how we've been. and we're good at it. It's our marriage, it's our dynamic. Being honest and open with each other is always what works. And the wake up call to make me realize that I had to change this was the fact that my wife and I legit almost had our first fight because I was that depressed. I was so depressed and down and just not even close to myself because the job I was in had just drained all my energy. It drained everything about me, and I just started becoming a shell of myself. And Kristen really kind of got on to me, this one night where we almost had our fight about that, and I started breaking down crying because that's when I realized where I was. I had put so much time and so much focus into a job that I was actually kind of miserable at, because for me, I'm not a person who can go in and just do a job that I'm told. I'm a creator. I'm a dreamer. I'm a guy who loves to problem solve. These are my talents. This is what I do. And when I'm not using my talents effectively in a workplace, I'm not happy. I'm not fulfilled. I mean, don't get me wrong. The company I was working for, it was great pay, great benefits. Everything about it was really good in terms of the compensation and the company. I loved the values that it had. It actually was pursuing what its core values were, its mission statement and everything. I mean, it was a great company, but it wasn't me. It wasn't a fit for me. I was miserable. I was not a good employee. I'm going to flat out say it. I was a pretty terrible employee because I didn't fit that mold. Because the mold I fit now, and I realize, is what I do with my content, being creative, problem solving, generating ideas, exploring new things. This is what I do. This is what I'm passionate about. And I don't do it just for me. I wind up doing it for other people. And so, I've been in therapy since August, and now it's March. And my therapist had said for months that finding a job is not going to make me happy. That my happiness will not be resolved in solving the financial problem I was having, which was I have to pay back my student loans. I've got all this debt with student loans, and it's overwhelming. And, the breakthrough finally happened. The realization, the aha moment of my life, understanding who I am and what I know I'm meant to do, finally came to fruition. And it honestly, this legit could not have happened if I hadn't gone out and sought help. If I hadn't had a mental breakdown and completely just fell apart, and then immediately started seeking help. As soon as I started seeking help, this is when everything started getting better for me. Did I have to go down some wrong paths? Yes. You have to make mistakes until you learn from them, especially as stubborn as I am. You have to kind of suck at some things before you move forward, but that's the beauty of it. You can't learn without your failures. You can't learn without experience. And so for me, realizing who I am, realizing what I am at my core, why the one job I loved in my life was so just amazing to me. But the job I loved more than any other job I ever had was working at what was Brandon's Video Game Exchange, now Game On in Columbus, Ohio. That job, because the owner and the operations manager both gave me autonomy. They gave me the ability to problem solve. They gave me the freedom to explore possibilities. That's what I need out of a job. That's what I crave. That is the challenges I love. And that's what it is for me. And so what that has wound up translating into is me going full-time as a content creator, and me putting together videos and focusing 100% for the first time ever on this thing I am passionate about. And it then started becoming a conversation with my wife and I about pursuing this and me quitting my job and actually moving forward with this. And it just so happened that on my birthday, I received a text from my sister, wishing me a happy birthday early in the morning. But the Sunday before, on my live stream, I had went off on a kind of little bit of a rant about how passionate I was about being a content creator, about making videos, about doing all these amazing things, and how I just hated my job and wish I could quit. And so on my birthday morning, my sister wishes me a happy birthday and then tells me, don't be afraid to chase your dreams. Don't live in your regret. If you are that unhappy in a job, you need to get out of it and you need to pursue and see if you can actually achieve. And my sister did it. And that was the initial part of me gaining the courage to do it, was that my sister is in a way a reflection of me, or I'm a reflection of her. I don't know. But in so many ways, we are so alike, especially with the entrepreneurial spirit, that sense of wonder and exploration and creating for yourself. My sister is an amazing photographer. I'm going to say it right now. She has an amazing eye. She is unbelievably good at what she does. And she built a business from the ground up with it. And I was like, if my sister is giving me that encouragement, if my sister could make this happen, I can do this. I can make this happen. So with that, I gained a little bit of courage, and then I started talking to my parents about it, and my parents were absolutely 100% supportive of me moving in this direction. My wife and my kids are super supportive of this. And so then I reached out to, some of my closest friends in gaming and content creation and such. And they all expressed how they believe that I can make this happen, that I can make something of all this. And then I announce that I'm going to do this. I make the decision to pull the trigger and do it. And then I get this wave of support from everybody. And that was what has transformed me to actually, for once in my life, and literally the first time in my life, believe that I can achieve. Believe that I have this value within me, that I have a drive to move forward, that I have purpose. Something I feel like I've lacked professionally for years is a professional purpose, and now I feel like I finally found one. And it's a huge deal for me. So now I'm getting ready to embark on this journey and move forward in full-time content creation. And as I'm trying to go to this job that I just have no passion for, no interest, no heart, nothing. I go in, I sit there, and I find myself not even paying attention to what I'm supposed to be doing, not helping the person in front of me, nothing. I am legit now in this completely, just the floodgates opening and all these ideas are pouring out of me. All these things are now just there. This block that I've had on moving forward has been lifted, and I no longer can perform the job. And yesterday when I'm at the job, I almost make a $200,000 mistake. Yeah. You heard that right. A almost $200,000 mistake. That is unheard of for me. I mean, even when I was at at a different job and I was handling money and things like that, I never made a mistake that huge. Not even close. The biggest mistake I ever made was $5. Making almost a $200,000 mistake made me go, you know what? One, I don't want to be a source of huge problems for a company that I truly do respect and people I truly do respect. I don't want to continue to be a problem because it doesn't need to be that way. So after that, I'm like, it's done. I can't focus on that job anymore. I'm out the door. I'm mentally already out the door. So, I put my keys in today, and they gave me the disappointed, well, we have to tell you that you're not going to be rehireable or anything, and blah blah blah. You're quitting abruptly. It's like, you guys knew 2 weeks ago I was quitting. I was being kind. Um but now that it's over and I'm trying to let this all sink in. That's the part that I'm at right now, is letting the fact that this is now the reality. This is my life now. My reality has completely changed, and it's starting to try and set in. There was a lot of anxiety quitting the job, like actually going in this morning, handing them keys. Because my first thing was judgment, the judgment that's being passed on me. And then I had to stop and tell myself that judgment was already passed. That judgment was made long before I put in the 2 weeks. They've already made their judgments about me. They already have made their decisions about me. Nothing's going to change at this point. Will they resent me? Sure, probably. And you know what? I don't care. Resent me all you want. That's not... I literally don't care, because I don't want to go back to that job. I don't want to go back to misery. And that's what that was for me, was pure misery. And so, now you taking this fear and anxiety and everything I was feeling with that job, and I'm using it as a positive motivation. That if I want to make sure that this is not, that I'm not going to have to go back to that. If I want to make this work, I've got to go all in. I've got to put every ounce of energy I've got into what I'm starting. And the thing is, it's not as scary as I feel like it is in my head, because I've already laid the foundation. I laid the foundation a year ago. All I've got to do now is continue to build and evolve and do what I know best. And that is provide entertainment, to provide information, to share, to enlighten, to encourage, to brighten someone's day. I'm here to make the world, in some little tiny way, a little bit better. And the way I can do that is to be a little bit better myself. That's where I'm starting at, is I'm making me better first, so I can make everything out there better. just a little bit. I'm doing at least a little bit of my part. Try and help. It may not be curing cancer. It may not be solving the energy crisis. It may not be solving, pollution or anything like that. But hopefully, maybe I'll connect with somebody who will make that change. And I gave them the encouragement and the smile they needed to do it. You don't know what effect you're going to have on people until you actually do it and you see where they go. And I'm just hoping that I can make the world just a little bit better by being a better person myself. So, I don't think I've ever felt this free, this wonderful, and this happy. At least not when it comes to a professional career. When it comes to a business. I literally couldn't have done it without the support of my wife, who from day one has supported this. From my children, who look up to me and are now becoming aspiring streamers themselves. My sister, who inspired me to have courage and belief in myself. My mother and father, who, even though the original idea was for me to be a diligent employee somewhere, I'm now a diligent entrepreneur, and they fully support it. All my closest friends, who helped encourage me and give me that. And then all of you who gave me that extra push. That final get the rock over the hill. I'm about ready to cry because it's just, this is everything for me. This is the beginning of something truly special for me. Now, yeah. I just thank you, all of you, for the support, the love for that, and truly changing me for the better. Without you guys, I wouldn't be mentally in a better place, and I definitely wouldn't have tried to take this on. Thank you to every single one of you. To new beginnings.